Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. Welcome to this series where you will be invited to come and see me make this shed that I've just bought. And my wife and I, because we're actually in our conservatory now, which as you can see is packed with things. In our last house we had a garage, but we don't have one now. We just have a little tiny shed which is falling apart, and so we decided to get rid of all this clutter so we can use the conservatory and we can put all the well, what seems like junk. It's really good stuff to me, you know, my things, into the shed, and I'm hoping that my wife will be really happy with all this clutter gone, inshallah. So just a little bit about the shed. It's a BillyOh Clubman 10 by 8. I decided to get that because it's a type of log cabin, not a real log cabin, but it's made with real timber, and you can get different thicknesses of the wood. So I've gone for the thicker type, and you see where I live, as you can see, I don't know if you can see, I'll just bob down a little bit. There's fields everywhere, there's a lot of wind, and it really takes a hammering. I think that's why our smaller shed is falling apart. So I wanted to get it right. I thought about getting a pressure treated shed, but then I thought all of the pressure treated sheds that I've seen, they're quite thin, and so I wanted to get a pressure treated log cabin, but I didn't find one that was of a reasonable price. So I went for this one, which is off a website, the BillyOh website, and they do lots of different sizes, and you know, there's plenty to choose from. There are other companies. I accidentally phoned the wrong company when I was trying to get through to Garden Buildings Direct, and I ended up phoning Dunster House, I believe it's called, and I said, is this Garden Buildings Direct? And they said, no, it's Dunster House, and they said, we're a lot better. So I don't know, they probably are, but they're also more expensive. I've been seeing lots of the sheds that people have built on YouTube, and I've been very inspired by that, and that's been very, very helpful to me to see how you've been doing that as well. So this is mine, and immediately let me tell you about the delivery. So the delivery man came, he's really, really nice. It takes about 6 weeks to make one of these for the company, and then they deliver it to you. They delivered parts beforehand, like these sprays for the roof. I'll just come over. So this is the adhesive for the roof. I had a choice to go for the felt roof or a rubber roof, so I went for the rubber roof. I paid a little bit extra, and then the adhesives came with the roof first. Now I looked outside and the delivery man was going and spraying it everywhere. It had burst open, so I told the company, and he did as well, that that's what happened, and then they sent another one. When I open these, they're not the strongest. They do break very easily, so I'm a bit concerned about that. I hope it doesn't. So I'll just put that down. So I want the shed to last, and I want to treat it properly. I did a bit of research, and I found a nice product by Baratine. So I'll just show you what I'm using. this is a tin. There's different sizes. This is a 5-litre tin. Protects against wood-boring insects, wood-rotting fungi, and blue stain. High level, long-lasting protection and preservation, superb quality, water-repellent resins, UV fade-resistant colour pigments. Right. So I did a bit of research, and actually there's a nice picture showing how oil-based products, they seep into the wood, which is what I want. I want it to really soak in and protect it from this really harsh weather that we have in the UK, where, I mean, when I think about last summer, it seemed like it was just raining. So I want the shed to last. So I'm going for this oil-based product here in light brown. So that's the colour, and there are more colours, as you can see. So this is what you would put on wood if it's not been treated. So I'll start with that, and I've already made a start, and there's the doors. I've just got a roller set here. I've got a tray, I've got a brush and roller, and it's taken me hours and hours and hours. And my wife is wondering why it's taking so long for me to do. And I tell her that we've invested in this and we want it to last. If I was to stain it afterwards, then I wouldn't be able to get in all these little sections, like here. This is a piece here. So I was soaking the ends, soaking inside here and here, and you just don't get to do that afterwards. And so the other thing is, I was watching some of your videos as well, and when it gets delivered, I highly recommend that you keep it dry, because if you're using an oil-based product like I am, then the wood needs to be dry enough for the oil to soak in. And so it's really important. Otherwise, you're just putting it on the surface. It's not going to protect it properly. And so I had it delivered. I asked the delivery driver to bring it into my conservatory, and he was very patient and he helped me to do that. Now, I left it for about, well, a few weeks to dry before I started to stain it. And so the plan is to stain it like this, and I'm on my second tin of this product now. I think it will take about 3 tins to cover everything. So I'm just finishing this second one now. Then I've got one more, so I've only got just these pieces really left, and the roof part to do. Then this product here, which is a bit cheaper, I'll just show you that. Wood protective treatment. So this is actually for after about a couple of years, you would apply this so that you don't have to pay for the initial treatment again. So this is your top up for afterwards. So it's cheaper. Now I think that, well, this is what I'm planning on doing, because you know, I used to be a delivery man, and I used to deliver parcels, and they'd ask you to leave it in a safe place, the parcel, and all the sheds are falling apart, and I'd be lifting the doors off and putting it through the windows, and they'd be all leaning over. And it just made me think, wow, I don't want to be in that place when you've spent a lot of money on something and it just doesn't last. So I'm going to treat it like I'm doing now, and then when I get it built, inshallah, I hope to give it another coat, soak it in even more, and then I'm not going to wait, you know, years before I apply this. I think I'm going to get straight on that and give it another coat in this, and then just to be sure, because I want to be sure. I was looking on the website. I think I've forgotten the name of it now, but they had this product here, and I thought to myself, what's that? Seems just like what I need, and it's especially for, well, it looks exactly like my shed actually. Or should I call it a log cabin, because they call it a log cabin, but so, and this is clear. It doesn't come in this in the light brown color, but I just feel that I'm going to need to put this on as well, because when these pieces are together on the end like this, they're bound to get a lot of battering from the rain, and I just feel like if I was to coat it even more, it would last longer. So there you have it. I'm going to crack on now, and with my roller. It's very important to have some of these gloves here, because you're going to be doing a lot of staining of this wood, and it does go everywhere. So it's good to have a pack of these gloves at hand. You know, every time I start, then my family will call me and they'll need some help with something. My wife will need some help with something, and I'll have to take them off, and you know, it could just go everywhere. So it's a really big project, so you just have to be patient and work your way through it. My wife asks me, how much have you got left? How much have you got left? And I say, I've done about 90% of it, and I've only got 10% left. And then a week later she asked me again, and I was like, oh, I've done about 90%. So it's hard to predict. Let me show you some of the other stuff. So even though I went for the rubber roof, they still sent the felt. So I don't know how that works. I think I'm going to have to maybe use the felt for something else and use the rubber first. So that's the rubber there. I don't know if you can see it. They just give you it folded up like that. These are all the screws. So that's for windows and doors. There is some organisation. I'll just show you the rest. Here's another bag with the keys. Comes with the keys and locks and everything. And I've got the larger bags over here. So screws and nails. There we have it. So thank you for joining me on this series, and I hope it's beneficial and it's helpful to you, as yours have been for me. I've really enjoyed looking at yours and watching them and learning how you've been doing things, because it's complicated. And I remember watching someone's video series, and he had his instructions. I wish I had some instructions. I'm really surprised that this company would not send you a paper copy of the instructions. They sent it on email, which I will print out, and I'll have to, but it would be nice if they did give that, like a nice printout, so that you don't, you know, well, you're paying a lot of money, so it's the least they can do. But thank you for joining me, and let's see how it goes.